Hey guys, what's up? Angren with my Diablo 4 Season 11 breakdown and which things I find good and also which things are bad. And I made two categories with the green one that I'm really excited for, the red one that I really don't like, and the yellow one which I still on a like divided opinion. And I also explained this on a feed. So yeah, keep in mind these things will still all change because we're gonna get the PTR next Tuesday, and we still have 2 months left to the final Season 11 patch, and maybe we can get a lot of changes after the Season 11 PTR. First of all, let's gonna directly start with my two things that go kind of hand in hand, the tempering and the masterworking. That was a arrow. So now the tempering, and I'm kind of like the temper rework, but I'm still hesitating because tempering rework that you can directly get your temporary side now you want. You 6 charges now, and that's a really huge win. What is the problem with tempering right now and how they want to tackle it with Season 11? So breaking your items before even after using a temp scroll was really frustrating. Most of the times you only rolled for the right temper and then stopped even if you had like 5 rolls left and it was a low value. This happened to me so many times. I got a really GG amulet with 3 extremely good share affixes, and then I just stopped after I got the temper once because I feared how to just completely break my 4, 5 or even 20 billion item. And yeah, the fear was way too big not to only get a high value but also not get the temper affix at all, completely breaking your expensive item. Stopped you from making real GG items. Risk reward was way out of balance. What it is now with Season 11. So you can try and go for some real GG items because you can brute force away to max value tempers. Can be deterministic, so you can reset them as many times you want to just force the FX you want for a max value. But it is a huge mistake to remove the second temper, and because second temper affixes were needed most of the time to enable certain builds. Like for the evade CDR of Evade one, you needed this on your boots or on your amulet to get the infinite evade, or razorwing charges on rings or amulet was extremely important to get your razorwings uptime to 100%. Now razorwings feel even worse because you need to sacrifice the offensive temper because you 100% need the razorwing charges, and then you will deal even lower damage and razorwings will be even worse. So I hope sanctified affixes will kind of fix this, or things like the CDR reduction for your classes, like the ulti CDR for Spiritborn support, that extremely helped us to get our ulti uptime way higher, and you maybe now need to rework your whole build. And also the barrier gen for max barrier was also really important. It will just left out now because you will always go for the damage or like the better utility one. So now you just go for the damage chamber. We need to wait for sanctified affixes if there are some GG affixes. So for example, if we get a sanctified affixes that, for example, gets you like no cooldown on evade or something, or gets you infinite charges for razorwing, okay, that's fine. But still, it kind of feels a step in the wrong direction. And also, re-adding 4 base affixes for legendary will be even worse because the Giga RNG for getting the right ammo with 4 affixes will be really terrible, and a welcome change for all the RMT guys in D4 and also the botters for D4. Because it helps them to reach higher ranks in the tower and the leaderboards. And right now it's hard to get an even armor with 2 good GA affixes. Really hate to getting 4 base affixes legendary back with no deterministic way to get them a proper way. Okay, you will get them better now with the tempering, but it's still not really good. What would have been even better with tempering? No infinite rerolls. You only get the tempered affix you want. It's a risk and reward thing because you will 100% get the temper affix you want. You can try and go for higher or max value, still needing to estimate your chances if you're satisfied with your roll, or you just want to keep your high roll but not kind of breaking your item with a lower roll. And also re-adding the second temper and removing the 4th affix. As I said, that's the reason why I'm still like on a divided opinion of tempering, but it's solo on the 1 temper charges. Other than that, these changes are really good. So now Masterworking, and that's also my worst part of the new Season 11. So now to my biggest complaint, the Masterworking. So What was the problem before? Well, getting a triple crit was a pure slot machine. All you need is too many materials plus gold. One time you could go for triple crit in your first try, which happened a lot of times for me. But on the other times you would go for 50 retries without even getting a double crit on your items. Besides, always resetted the wall masterworking, showing you complete progress and deletes the chance to work towards your triple crit and your truly fully crafted item. It was a completely frustrating system. It was very unlikely to get your full gear triple credit, even if you grinded much, because most of the times you would just run out of materials and they were really tedious to farm, so it was more of a resource farm simulator. And how it is now with Season 11. It's completely terrible, at least for me. It's just a normal armor weapon damage increase from Season 1 to 3, and kinda like the Whetstone from PoE. Although you will get an additional greater fix on your last upgrade, it is more of a band-aid fix for the JRNG loot problem. Upgrading a normal affix to Masterworking is boring now. Nothing you can get a dopamine effect if you will finally hit a triple crit after many tries or after winning in the slot machine after the first try. So what it should have been, keep with the old Masterworking but with checkpoints on, for example, 4th and 8th upgrade. You will invest the normal 5 million gold, then you will reset it to 0. But if you will invest more gold or mats or some special mats into it, you will reset it to either the 4th or the 8th upgrade to get another shot on your double or triple crit. They could have even added some more support to that system, making it more deterministic, like investing a spark to get a way higher chance to get an additional crit on the item, or maybe investing like 5 or 10 sparks a stage to then choose your upgrade the first 2 times to just get a better way to upgrading your items, the more resource you will find into it. This system had so much potential to be a really great masterworking system. You just need to get some way more chance to get your outcome that you wanted. But they never really fixed the masterworking because they needed to fix all of the other systems with the Nightmare Dungeon, with the Infernal Horde, so they never had time for it, and then now they just completely scrap it and not just advance it how it should be. They completely missed the mark here and did a change for the sake of a change. Huge potential lost for the temper and also the masterworking, a big loss for Season 11. But we're still missing one info. We have to wait for Sanctify items. Maybe this is the reason why it's an easy system now, because we get some crazy Sanctify affixes, and so we can throw in more items to brick them and to get a chance to get some really GG items. Hope it will be. And speaking of Sanctification, we're gonna come now to Sanctification, and this is by far my most loved system. So Sanctification is like an additional system where you will just place your item into a heavenly forge, and then you will get one of potential outcomes. You will either get a bonus legendary power, or you will improve an affix into a greater affix. You will add a bonus affix from a pool of special sanctification affixes, or you will replace an affix with a random sanctification affix, or you make your item indestructible, preventing it from losing durability. That's like the outcome when you brick your item in PoE, and sanctifying your item makes it unmodifiable, the ending that item's journey. This should be the last upgrade you make your item, and still like change your games around. So in addition, you will find heavenly sigils that will teleport you to Heavenly Forge to sanctify your item. You will get this from the lesser evil Belial, Asmodan, or Duel. So that's a huge win for me, because I always loved the PoE, PoE2, and the Project Diablo 2 Vaal Orb. And this can give your item the final touch. The indestructible affix is a more softened brick like it is in PoE, but with your item not gone. And it's also good that it has a downside, it needs a downside. It would be boring if this would only have the upsides, so it can build a truly dopamine effect if you hit the one thing that you like. Some concerns about the legendary power though. If this hits a random legendary power, this will be a huge RNG fest, and this is truly bad. I hope for some way of force legendary on the item, but at least not every single legendary affix on the item. Because other than that, you will have, I don't know, like 100 affix you can choose from. So people complain it's RNG, but it's an action RPG. If you don't have RNG moments, then we get too bored too quick, which happened before Season 10. Chaos Unix are a huge RNG fest this season, but we will grind a lot to get the proper Chaos Unix, thus expanding our playtime in Season 10, like Season 8, Season 9 were all good, but we had too less RNG and too less deterministic things to farm. we got a ball pretty quickly. And I hope also for some really crazy sanctified affixes that completely enable some builds that you will lose through the only one temper now. Things like no evade cooldown. And one is already confirmed. We're gonna lose 50% movement speed, but we're gonna get 30% cooldown reduction. But I hope they will go far more crazy. Also, things that will completely make your char crazy, you will get that big dopamine effect if you get the hit. And I also hope for some bad luck protection, especially for the legendary powers. So now to the next good thing, the Divine Gifts. So the new Season 11 powers won't give you crazy new builds to build, but they will give you now better options to farm. So we have now more of a risk reward. Slot in more risky power to farm a specific counter you want farm to get better rewards. Will be really nice for target farming for specific encounters. Huge win. Really good if you farm, for example, Overhaul's Orb. You can then farm Enduril for your Curious Undercity. So as you can see, you will get the sense of pain, which you will farm from Duril now from Helltide, and Tanks of Duril can drop socketables in Helltide, doubled while purified. And after you upgrade it, I think it can even drop runes, so it is a new place to farm runes, which is pretty good and nice. Some target farming, which also made Diablo 2 great. So now the next one, the monster combat, which I'm still not sure if it's bad or good. So how monsters are now. So we have boring elites. You will just group up all elites in the pits, and if you see an elemental rest monster, you will either skip it or restart your hit push run. Waller, elemental resistance, etc. are way too annoying, but as I said, they're nothing special right now. Current loop that will just pull everything together, facing everything, and killing all enemies at once. How it will be now. 20 new affixes, more like PoE2 elites, but I hope they don't get dumb effects like ones that run away from you, getting invulnerable phases, or perma-stun you, or things that destroy your gameplay, like disabling some of your skills. They will group up less, they want to destroy the group up loot. Can be nice, but I hope this will not be a worse system. And honestly, I don't know what to think about it. I need to test it out how it feels. So now to the next thing that I really like, and that's the Lesser Evil. So the Lesser Evil will return to Sanctuary. So this is a huge win with the Lesser Evils. With Belial, Asmodan, and Duril, we're also gonna get the heavenly sigils that you need to sanctify your items. Belial will come into the pit, he will stun enemies and instead spawns his own. If you kill enough, you will reset the pit boss with Belial. It's a huge win because I honestly hate pit bosses. And Duril will also replace main in Helltide. Asmodan is a world boss now and can also be summoned in. And Duril will be in Curse Undercity, same way Belial is in the pits. So now also to the next topic that I'm kinda not liking is the defense rework. So player dev rework of res and armor and going back to the season 1 to 3 system with infinite res. So how it is now, we have capped res and you can increase them via max res. In the current season it's super hard to even get to max res and max armor. The only problem I have is that after you reach max res and armor, you just pump everything into life for damage reduction. There should be more defensive layers. So toughness would be a really cool addition, but guess what? How it is now. Infinite res and armor that will scale to infinity with diminishing returns. And I'm not a huge fan of it, because I hate infinite res back from Diablo 3 and back from Season 0 to Season 3. I'm more a fan of max res, max armor, so you can work your way towards it and can finish it and then work on something else. They also introduced toughness. That's really good. Would have been a way better with capped res and armor, so you have another defense layer. So you can scale up your toughness, so you have another defensive layer. Like it is in PoE, with max res, with your evasion, with your armor, with your energy shield, with all of these things that's really good and making a good defensive. So you would have had all res, armor, damage reduction, toughness, and multiple defense layers. In addition, Fortify is now like a life rack that will heal you over time. I'm not sure, I need to test it, but anything is better than the current Fortify system, which was just a flat 10% DR. They also reintroduced Life Leech and Life on Hit from like back in the days. Also a huge L of Season 11 for us for me. I hate it. Fortify and Life Leech can be nice, but I hate the new res. Hope they will revert it back, but cannot even imagine it. So now also another good thing is the tower and the leaderboard. So I'm a huge fan of tower and leaderboard. So I was also a fan of it back in Diablo 3. And on a tower, we will have 10 minutes now, and you need to kill as many monsters as you can on 10 floors. You will have 3 pylons with effects you want for group up, enemies around them. The first 3 effects are random, and after that, it will be the same from the first 3 pylons. So it's good that it's not in pits, because as they already said, pits are just garbage, at least for me. And only check on how OP your build or skill is, and it's not even good for leaderboard, because also right now, like the first 30 or 40 ranks on the Hellhead leaderboards are just break builds, and most of them are the completely same. So it's just more of follow the build guide, and then you will just finish at the top of the leaderboard, and it not really shows your player skill. And yeah, it will be really interesting to see how Blizzard can deal with RMT, botters, dupers, and cheaters in the tower. And I hope they would give us SSF mode, but maybe for the add-on. So in my opinion, they need SSF mode for it to truly get the real player skill. As long as it's not SSF, streamers or content creators can do shortcuts or can borrow gear for rank 1 clears. Also, the leaderboards are huge. They're divided into either groups or the class on itself. We know them from the gauntlet, but they also need a leaderboard for every skill. And as I said, I hope also for SSF. Now for the last 2 bad things. First of all, the season rank, it was Renown before, so it is now kind of the new season journey, giving us our skill points plus paragon points after we complete the Renown and season ranks. This would have been my favorite option way back in season 1 and I think season 2. Not an auto completion at the start of the season and getting an instant 10 skill points and like 30 to 40 paragon points from the get-go. But now after like 2 years or 1.5 years, it feels like they take something away from us. So we just need to play longer for the power creep. So we just got this for like 8 or 9 seasons in a row, and they now take it back from us, and we need to earn it again. It is way too late to just do this, and they should have just given us like another thing that we want to grind for, like an interesting mythic unique or like a good GA unique or something way interesting than just giving us the content we already have. Capstone dungeons are returning. Don't know, I have no opinion on it. I liked it, but some people really hate it. And the current system with pits is trash because it's way too easy. Last of all, the new Unix Druid LOL, it's just, I think, a really bad unique. And Spiritborn new unique is really hyped, so you can play now a Rushing Claw, a Evade with passing core skills. So a really huge fan of it. So I hope I could cover most of the topics of the new season 11. So I hope I could cover most of the topics and my opinions of the season 11 in this video. And please also write down your comments of, and please also write down your opinions of the new season 11 in the comments down below. Would be really huge. And also please write down in the comments down below if you also like the new season 11 introduction. So if you like my video, please leave a like and a sub. It will boost my channel tremendously, and also check out my Twitch. And until the next video, bye.